Hello everybody, welcome to the third and final video of the day. This is going to be focused on Tigra and as well as on Hit Monkey and their abilities, if I can get my words out. But the fact is, we're going to look a little bit of those abilities. We're not going to go in full details, but basically pick out some stuff that is going to be interesting for you to understand, and lots of developer information and things to make you go, ooh, that may be a champion I might want to get in the future because it ticks a load of boxes. So let's deep dive this. From the outset, from a design perspective, I like the way that Hit Monkey looks. It is pretty fun, it's pretty funky, and it's definitely got this John Wick vibe to him. Hit Monkey's design and vibe seems like it's a little bit of Corvus meets a little bit with switching modes, and that could be really anything. Sorcerer Supreme switches modes, we've got Clairvoyant that switches modes, we've got stuff with, you know, Silver Surfer, the works, there's loads in game, but it's basically got that vibe of those two types of characters meeting in the middle. And that really centers around this nunchaku. So Hit Monkey's nunchaku, that's going to bug me to try and say that so many times, attacks a guaranteed critical hits against opponents who are not blocking. He uses them for his first medium hit, light hit, and second medium hit. And as well, if you hit off 3 of those critical hits in a row, it does mean you're able to bleed the opponent, which does a good amount of direct damage. Obviously, if you can keep yourself ramped up and keep going, this could be really good. Especially the developer saying that you should try a medium light medium combo rather than a regular 5-hit combo. In the shorter combo are guaranteed critical hits, meaning you'll trigger a bleed debuff every combo, which is obviously going to be more effective for keeping that bleed damage up. It seems very much the case of switching schemes. So once you've done that 3-hit combo or those 3 critical hits, you get to have a monkey scheme, and those monkey schemes will be specific to different things, obviously what they'll give out. Like if you go into Assassin's Cunning, you'll prevent the opponent from evading. Obviously that's great against evade champions. Gain a 60% chance to evade an incoming basic attack while not blocking. I'm not a massive fan of that one, but still it's the thing. Evade removes Assassin's Cunning, which again is a bit of a downside if you want to go up against something that's you know, a projectile or something coming your way. The bleed debuffs from Hit Monkey's nunchaku can be critical bleeds, multiplying the potency by his critical damage multiplier. The chance of a critical bleed is equal to the critical chance. The chance of critical bleeds to occur is further increased for every 3 critical hits landed in a row during Assassin's Cunning. With Assassin's Cunning looking like this on screen at the moment, and with the build up of those critical hits looking like this to obviously build monkey schemes. So far this looks like it's going to be the complex champion of the month, especially with going with the way that it functions and switching between different modes, obviously to do different things, could be the thing. And there's obviously going to be a decent enough payoff with bleed damage, not to mention obviously kit that's in there to deal with certain things like evade. So this champion is going to be hopefully a full package and as well good damage return for you if you think about picking him up. The complexity of this champion I think is only amplified with the change of say play pattern, which basically is what is going to happen. With this champion, as soon as you get into Primal Rage, this is the point where you ignore the opponent's armor and resistance, gain 100% chance to purify one of each stun and damage over time debuffs on Hit Monkey, which is great when one is gained or when Primal Rage activates. Purify and removes Primal Rage. Light hits have a 20% chance to disorientate opponents, decreasing block proficiency and defense ability actually by 40% for 6 seconds. Disorientate increased by 2.5% flat for each hit landed during Primal Rage. And special attack hits have the same chance to disorientate for 3 additional seconds. The developer going further to say this mode benefits from landing as many light hits as possible, so you ideally want to start your combos with medium attacks followed by 4 light attacks. You won't trigger bleeds as often, but your hit will ignore the opponent's armor and resistance, and you'll easily be able to disorientate them with just your basic attacks. The signature ability is very interesting, especially from a point of like, we're familiar with the Assassin Mastery, but the signature ability kind of works in a similar way, not exactly. Where if the opponent is above 25% health, it does mean Primal Rage will be your key thing about increasing the length of time you're in that mode. And when you're getting the opponent below 25%, it's then a case that Hit Monkey passively reduces their defense ability actually by 40%. So either way, it does mean for some positive offensive gameplay from this character with a very weird but very fun little kit. There's a lot more information to Hit Monkey if you want to go down to the spotlight, including a lot of the synergies, which I do like to do like independent videos on, and obviously when I get to review this champion for the CCP, I'll probably put together as well. But this seems like a very complex champion, but a lot of the kit seems to be very fun, so it would be interesting to see how this champion plays out, and especially where he's going to be of more value in different areas of the contest, whether or not it's going to be in Act 6, whether or not it's going to be in variants, whether or not this is going to be in any other kind of monthly content or future content. We'll have to see. Now let's turn our attention over to Tigra. Now, I was a little bit surprised not to see anything like a nod to the amulet, and I would expect that to be some kind of like necklace form, but obviously that maybe not in the Kabam lore for this character, or maybe something has changed with that. But the other thing to mention with it is that I think Kabam have gone away from the very scantily clad, I think that's the right word, or the bikini look, which obviously we've seen a lot in like comic books. Now obviously if you've seen my comic book video, you'll know that that's synonymous with this character, and especially if you've read any West Coast Adventures or kind of seen this. So they've gone for a more reserved look. Now this is when Tigra's utility could come into play, because we're talking about the idea of stagger, basically preventing them gaining buffs on the other side. That's effectively stagger. But as well, the way that Primal and Huntress senses come into play, and obviously the power gain, build and damage output, that's going to be interesting. But the most interesting is charging a heavy attack. It causes all non-contact hits during special attacks to miss. Now, I don't obviously know the specifics of this. What they're referring to with this, is it going to be energy non-contact hits? Is it going to be projectile non-attack hits or non-contact hits? Like, is this going to be talking about SP1s from Spider-Man or Grandmaster's SP1? Is it going to be unblockable specific? Those are questions that I really would like to see answered, but let's continue on. Some of the things to watch out for is a rupture, and that deals with physical damage. Also the different senses. So the Huntress sense, it allows for power gain. If it is the Primal sense, it means that it's physical damage. Also, opponents with non-contact special attacks. Obviously, we talked about this. The idea that you can avoid otherwise unavoidable special attacks and punish them. And again, the specifics of this, of what champions are in that list, is still yet to be known. However, though, punishing on a heavy attack has been listed of champions like Iron Man, Infinity War, Nova or Medusa, which seem to be easy targets. And as well, the way that ruptures work. So you're theoretically punishing a heavy attack in its process, and how you do that and how you build that. Do you kind of click a button? Do you kind of like go into a heavy attack yourself while they're doing it? It's still yet to be found out. We'll read on. Now this is essentially covered right here, especially considering that if you charge a heavy attack, and all non-contact hits from special attacks have a 100% chance to miss, and also if Tigra interrupts the opponent's attack or causes them to miss while charging this attack, each hit inflicts a rupture, dealing 1,320 physical damage over 18 seconds. And the biggest question that needs to be answered on this is this physical damage actually like unavoidable damage, which isn't going to be great, and depends how much that can be amplified. From an offensive point of view, great, fantastic, but if you're going up against it, and I'm talking like future content, like even the event quest, is this going to be not too much of a bearable type thing? We'll have to find out about that. But one thing I like learning about is swiping back to then hitting your special attack, which allows you to go unblockable. Now, depending on how far you travel on this, because this is the other thing that I think Nova and Silver Surfer had this thing about the distance they travel whilst they're unblockable. So that's something going to be quite important of how this special attack works. And basically you might have to spend a lot of time just face hugging the champion in order to make sure that you obviously you kind of don't get hit yourself. But if you want to maximize the damage output, you might have to swipe back in order to hit in that unblockable special attack, which could be quite nice, especially with the rupture dealing physical damage again. Also, for those interested about the potency that can be delivered with Primal Sense and Huntress Sense, first and foremost, signature ability basically allows for you to start the fight in both modes, which is going to mean for some great power gain and also some great damage output. but it looks like if it's 12 seconds, and that's going to have to scale quite largely, especially considering this is going to be for a 5-star. So imagine 200 SIGs will give you 12 seconds. What will about 10 SIGs do? And chances are you may only get it for maybe a couple of seconds. The developer says here that maintaining Primal Sense and Huntress Sense is crucial for Tigra. Keep an eye on timers. If you think you'll run out before launching an SP2, launch a couple of SP1s. So obviously that's the thing about ramping up those senses, keeping them on. SP2 obviously is going to be quite devastating if it's put in nicely. And as well, the length of time that you get for the Primal Sense and Huntress Sense for 14 seconds from an SP3 could be quite nice. Those with Suicide Masteries may want to obviously throw in that as opposed to the other ones, but obviously you do you at that given time, and we'll find out more info when this champion is released for the CCP and as well goes into game. Finally, there seems to be some odd pairings, obviously with associations with Howard the Duck, as well as Black Panther, and also we've got West Coast Avengers and a few other ones as well. I'll be doing deep dives on this at a later date when I get to review this for the CCP. Final thoughts on these two characters is that I'm actually looking forward to both. Where there's been previous last couple of months where I've gone, right, well, I wanted to see one over the other, and that's just based on, well, I've seen a lot of the stuff before. Personally, I'm more interested in this. This month, I'm actually, or the month of June, I'm actually interested in playing about with both of them, and as well, they seem to be pretty fun. I like the way that you're able to Hit Monkey, switch between different modes. I think it's going to be complex, but as well, it's going to be hard to keep the sustainability with damage output and also kind of focusing on what's happening top left hand corner, which is something for me personally I'm not a massive fan of, but I will kind of eat my words and if it's the case that the champion is good. And as well, Tigra seems to be a quite good utility-ish champion with lots of different things that, hey, you know, it's sort of ghosty, but at the same time it's quite mystical. It's got some kind of like ghost type vibes to it and some other things as well, and it's going to be interesting as a mystic to put it in there. Obviously design wise it's not the comic books, it's far from it, and obviously if Kaban put it in, probably people would complain that it is too naughty and raunchy that they've done it that way. So obviously I understand what they've done there with it. Either way, like I said, excited for both of them. Interesting kits. Check out the links in the description for more details, obviously, in what we've seen today. And I'll be live streaming on twitch.tv/RichTheMan live. Come and say hello in a moment. And finally, go and check out the other two videos that I posted today, which should be the little Rift video, the also 27.1. Yeah, release notes, which is like amazing with some of the stuff that they've put in, and obviously lots to come in June. And check out some other content down here from other channels that I have. So yeah, go and check it out. Bye bye.